teachers and staff. There's breakfast in the teachers' lounge. There's breakfast in the teachers' lounge. Teachers that are just coming in, there is breakfast in the teachers' lounge. And the teachers' appreciation week.
This here up the mic. All right. This is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. I know that this is the NBA playoffs, and I know all the attention should be on the NBA, but I also know that the NBA is never going to be top dog, especially when you start talking about comparing it to the NFL. And the latest NFL news, which is always a bunch of NFL news, at least that caught my attention. A couple of days ago, my Steelers traded George Pickens away to the Cowboys. Got mixed emotions about this particular trade. This guy here supposed to be a thorn in the side of the Steelers brass. And of course, you don't really know what's going on inside the locker room unless you're there. But something is going on. But one thing that is for sure, why is it that all the top receivers want to get out of Pittsburgh? Are they not getting the ball enough? Is there something going on inside that we don't know about? I don't know. It's a question that needs to be asked. But as you see, the exodus of the top receivers over the last 9 or 10 years, been several of them. Ricky Ricks, what's going on, man? I ain't seen you in a while. Only thing worse than trading to Dallas probably would have been trading him to Baltimore, but he may end up in Baltimore anyway because you know how the Steelers, when they get rid of a receiver, they tend to bounce around a while. So I don't know if this is going to be the case with Pickens or not. But my question is, who are they going to throw to now? And the bigger question than that is, who's going to throw it to him? They pretty much jacked up this whole offseason when it came to getting a quarterback, unless they know for sure that they're going to get Aaron Rodgers. Now, that's the only thing that can pretty much save us now because the quarterbacks they got on the roster now are unproven. Well, if you got an unproven quarterback that wind up throwing to receivers that we don't know about, then it's shaping up to be a pretty long season for Pittsburgh in a season where Tomlin had to shake things up to probably keep his job. So I'm not sure if this was a great move. But I'm sure you could find a receiver. I mean, every time they got rid of a receiver, they always came up with somebody who can catch the ball. So I wouldn't expect anything different this time. But the bigger question to me with Pittsburgh is who is going to throw the man the football is all I want to know. All right. Hand-to-hand combat. I don't know what that means. I have no idea. All right. But Dallas is going to end up with them. And from all the talk that I'm hearing from the Cowboys way and people who are speaking on the trade, they think this is a great move for the Cowboys. You're going to pair him up with CeeDee Lamb. It's, CeeDee Lamb had 120-something catches. And that's an awful lot. He needs somebody on the other side to take some of that pressure off him. And if Pickens can pan out in Dallas, that would give them some weapons to work with. But the question that they have is the same kind of question I got. Who's going to throw it to him? Because, Prescott, he's got all these excuses. He had all these injuries, and he just don't seem to be the guy to get it done. Now, he really doesn't have any excuse if all these guys are to stay healthy. They have DK now. Pickens not needed. Yeah, but I know about DK Metcalf, but I'm not sure he's a top receiver. I think what Metcalf is like a Debo Samuel was in a lot of ways. You can use him to play in different positions. But if you're going to move him around and throw it to him everywhere he goes, what's the advantage? You know where he is. Wherever he goes, follow him. That's where the ball's going. He has to have somebody to take the pressure off him. So, yeah, it's a good swap for Pickens for Metcalf. That's not a big drop-off, if there's a drop-off at all. But the question is, who's his sidekick? got to have somebody on the other side to take the pressure off him and open up Metcalf even more. And I'm not sure that Pittsburgh has that person. But again, it comes down to the quarterback position. I think they got some kind of deal going with Rodgers. They just hadn't told the world about it. Otherwise, they're going to be in a position where they're going to be stuck with the ones that they have on the roster. And the ones they have on the roster right now aren't good enough to compete in that division. And could be problematic for Pittsburgh. So the question I'm asking, was this a good trade? Right now, the few responses I got is no. But having said that, we're talking about football in the middle of the NBA playoffs. I went and started a Discord football forum where we can talk football all day, every day. All you got to do is click that link there and join and post your comments. You got something to say about football? Let's hear it. Let's talk about it. If you're a football coach out there and you want to talk strategy, situationals, how to deal with certain things, join Discord. I'm out there. We can talk about anything. Like I say, I'm an actual coach, and I've broken down thousands of hours of film, and I know what to look for. I know the weaknesses and the defenses, all those kind of things. So if you want to sit there and talk football and how I can maybe enhance what you're doing to get your game plans and things together, hit me up on Discord. But I put the link in the chat. So that'll be interesting if we get some people to help get that going. Football, never a conversation that goes away. And everybody's all optimistic until the season starts. And once the season starts, then you start hearing how they really feel. So again, click the link in the description and follow me on Discord. I'm in the process of fully setting it up, but won't be long. All right. Rick says 1 year, $3 million is worth the risk for Pickens. If he acts up, you cut him. Every team should have been trying to trade for him. Okay, Rick, I just saw a newspaper article this morning where Pittsburgh tried to trade him or use him as trade bait in the draft for certain picks, but nobody would bite on it. So I guess Dallas is the only team that really wanted to take that chance. But when they were dangling Pickens during the draft, nobody wanted to have anything to do with that. So it's just another example of teams not really showing their hands. It's just like with Randy Moss. People didn't like Randy Moss because of his attitude. But shit, I'd jump right on Randy Moss from a football standpoint. Like Jim McMahon said, you don't have to be best friends with the guy. You don't have to hang out with him. Just show up to practice every day, get your work in, and when it's time to play, go and play. After that, I don't care what you do, as long as you stay out of the headlines. And I guess that's the same line of thinking for the Cowboys. But everybody thinks once you get them in camp and get them into your organization, you can straighten them out. That may or may not be true. But then again, this guy might not be a real troublemaker. But the advantage that the Cowboys do have is this is a contract year for Pickens. If he goes over there and he knocks off 100 catches and CeeDee Lamb was able to have a better year than what he had last year because he got less pressure on him, Pickens about to get paid. If you saw what Jamar Chase and some of those other receivers been getting, it's a good time to be a free agent or have your opportunity to get a new contract come up at this time because the rates are just going to go up. Just like in basketball, they're talking about having the first $1 billion contract. And got a $150 million receiver. That's on the line right there. You already got $500 million quarterbacks. And it's just a matter of time before those difficulties. There's a link. I just put it in the description. I gave some kind of base description of it. And right below that, it may not be clear, but I'll go back in and I'll separate it so you can see. But it's right there toward the first third of the writing on there. But just go through there and click that link and it'd be. I wouldn't trade for him before draft. I know what I'm getting out of Pickens. I would try to land a solid rookie first. And if not, go trade for him like Dallas. All right. Well, I think you're talking about the other teams. Well, that's pretty much what they did. And Dallas seemed to be happy with what they got because immediately a couple guys on in their receiving room for Dallas got cut. One guy named, I think it was named Seth Williams. He definitely got cut. And there was another guy that got shipped off. So Cowboys not messing around. They're trying to put together a team that can compete and let Chad Ochocinco tell it they're going to score 35 points a game. I don't see that because I don't think the quarterback is up to par where he can score 35 a game. But we'll see about that. The Cowboys got to get rid of Dak. He's most of their problem. Exactly. But Dak, he's not that bad either. But I always say this. I never met a quarterback who could throw on his back. And the flip side of that is you get any quarterback time to throw, especially on a professional level, he's going to kill you. And Dak has the capability. I've seen him do it. His problem is he makes some bad reads. So I don't care if you got an all Hall of Fame receiving cast, all Hall of Fame line in front of you. If you can't read the defense and throw it to the right guys, it's not going to make a difference, man. So he's got to make sure that his game ups as his receiving core ups. And I'm not sure if he's ready to make that leap yet, but he's going to have to make it. And he's got to stop getting hurt. And he can't really control that, but he can control the mental aspect of it and try to get better as a quarterback. And he's slowly getting there. He's just moving a little bit too slow for somebody who's making the kind of money he's making. And that is just my opinion on the subject. All right. I digress. Let's talk a little basketball. This is the NBA playoffs, and let's say a word or two about basketball. Last night, the curryless Golden State Warriors got beat by 24, 117-93 by Minnesota. And just like the score indicates, it was not a very exciting game and seemed to go pretty quick. Buddy Hield didn't get off like he did the other night, and they didn't have that same bounce in their step, which gives me more reason to gripe about basketball and the way that they approach these games. They've already won a game on the road, so they're happy with that. So they pretty much coasted through the game without having that high energy level to try to win. It's the same thing they did in Game 5 in Houston and pulled all their players out and pretty much conceded the game. If you got a 1-0 lead, why not do like the Knicks or the Pacers and take 2 games on the road? Why give a team a chance to breathe? Go ahead and kill them, man. And I know that people aren't expecting you to win without Curry, but you can perform a little bit better than what you did. I mean, you are a professional basketball player. Your checks cash every time they give you one. So why can't you go out there and perform when it's time to perform? And I don't always see that from basketball players. And worse, when the games are really on the line, or Game 7 when your season is on the line, you have a bunch of guys that won't show up. Some of them lay out hurt, and it be over some minor stuff. Now, I take a shot at Ja Morant. Yeah, he took a hard fall, but he was, to me, more scared about what happened than the actual injury itself. Brunson turned his ankle in bad shape. Came back out of the locker room 10 minutes later, ready to go. Anthony Edwards last night did the same thing. Looked like his playoffs were over. Come back after halftime, he was ready to go. All the players in the NBA don't do that. They get a little finger boo-boo. They don't want to play. And the day that football players start to behave that way, then society itself is in trouble. There's got to be some tough guys somewhere. And I don't see it a whole lot in the NBA. Now, all that mixing up that the Pacers and the Knicks and all that rough stuff, that's actually pretty good. It kind of throws you back to the 80s when, teams didn't score a whole lot. I think some of the antics of Draymond Green, he picked up another technical last night. What he does, he throws his hand out and act like he's losing the ball, but he hit the man in the face on purpose. You can't tell me that he's not doing that, because every time that there's an issue, it's the same motions from him. He's doing it on purpose. Then he want to get mad and go off at the officials for calling a technical. Well, when I grew up, you go to barking at the official, you're supposed to get thrown out of the game, or in basketball, get a technical foul or something. They just let the man call him all kind of names and dress him down in front of the whole world, and they stand there and take that. Well, they don't want to throw him out because he's already got 5 technicals, 2 more, he's got to get suspended. That's the last thing Golden State needs. They're already down Curry, and to get Green out of the game, that's just putting a stamp on the end of their season. But the officials, they let them get away with it, and I don't like it. But the thing is, if you're going to have officials, if you're not going to call a game the way it's supposed to be called, then you're just out there. Just come on out and say what it is. We're not calling anything. Unless there's blood on the floor, we're not making a call. And that's a problem. So enough of that. But anyway, Rick said Dax is not the problem, it's his contract. Well, if he's good enough to get the contract, Rick, why is that a problem? I think it might be a problem for people to talk about it because they don't think that he's worth it. But the market for quarterbacks is what, $50 million a year now. All right, killing the ability to put good players around him. No, I don't think so, because the salary cap keeps going up. He's just not performing up to the level of his contract. Same thing down here in Jacksonville with Trevor Lawrence. He didn't do anything to earn that big contract, and he knows it. That's why he's out there trying to overcompensate. He had people wide open last year, completely missing them, because he's trying to do too much. Instead of just relaxing and going out there and play, he's trying too hard. All right, he literally crippled the team, but he cashed in at the right time. I got no problem with him cashing in. And if there are no quarterbacks in your free agent class, you're getting paid. Well, that's true. It's all a game, man. Everybody really just wants to get take care of their family. And these guys are doing a great job of that. And just like Matty Tkachuk says, go Pacers, they're doing a great job of taking it to Cleveland. I thought they were going to play last night, but they didn't. They're going to actually play today. And Boston, I think, is going to come back. And all they did to me was really tick Boston off. Now it's a do-or-die situation. We're going to really find out what's going on in with the Knicks. Maybe I'm getting my games mixed up. Cleveland and the Pacers should play tonight, and I think the Knicks play on Saturday. But either way, we're talking about the Knicks. And I think that the Knicks, all they did was wake up Boston. And Boston is going to, hey, talk too much, man. I don't want to hear all that early in the morning. This lady here kills me. But anyway, what I'm saying is that they just woke the Celtics up, and you're going to find out this time won't be no more comebacks. But if they mess around and beat the Celtics this time, something's up, and I don't know what that is. Am I high? No, I'm not high. I don't do dope. If you call life dope, then yeah, I'm high. And Boston with these 3-pointers are crazy. Well, they've been shooting 3-pointers all year, Ricks. They shot 60 in the first game, and they hit like 15 of them. But that's not unusual for them. They live and die by that. It's just the fact that they're not hitting a whole lot of them. And then you have Porzingis out. That kind of throws their offense off a little bit because they don't have that extra body down there that can get those extra rebounds and put it back up or take them to the hole and everything else. So he needs to get 100% well to really make the difference in this series. But even still, without Porzingis, they had 2 20-point leads. And how often are you going to see top teams blow 20-point leads? That's not going to happen too often. And the Knicks, the way they're thinking, they're going to come in and jump right on Boston and try to get a 20-point lead on them. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think the New York crowd is really a home court advantage. It's kind of a plastic-type atmosphere. And you saw Detroit go in there. So what makes you think Boston can't go in there and win? I just think that send me $20 if you're not what? Oh, you think I'm high? Okay, you talking crazy. All right. How bad is it they traded him because of his emotions? Well, everybody has emotions. You just got to keep your emotions in check. And something's going on behind the scenes that we don't know about for them wanting to get rid of him. All right. He's probably the only one, not the only one think I'm high. No, I'm not high. My eyes never did open wide. They tell me I got Asian eyes. But dope, no, I don't have time for that kind of stuff. I get high on life. Um, but anyway, let's check this poll vote. I got to get up out of here in a minute. Most of you are saying that Pittsburgh didn't have a good move by trading Pickens. I'm kind of on the fence with that, but I kind of forgot about Metcalf. Old Rick's reminded me of that. Um, so I'm a little more relaxed with that, but now I'm worried about who my quarterback is going to be. All right. When Dak fails again with this talented roster, he should be gone. Yeah, Dak is on the clock, but who's going to pick up that big contract? It's pretty fresh, and he's stuck with Dak for a couple more years. But he's injury prone. They might bend him up anytime. So I don't know, man. Dallas, they got the tools, they got the money to back up what they're doing. I think the mistake that Dallas made, they should have picked up Derrick Henry last year. The man lives in Dallas. He wanted to play for Dallas, but he passed up on Henry twice with what's his name from Ohio State. He drafted him in the when they came out together. They drafted him then, and they took him as a free agent deal. So Zeke, and then they cut him last year. So if they had got Henry and then come back with this receiver, and you get a quarterback that can get it in there, then Dallas would have been a major problem for most of the league, and that is for sure. All right. Porzingis makes a difference, but up 20, still shooting threes is unnecessary. Okay, that's where the style of play today comes into effect. A lot of the times, if you notice, you can have a 3-on-1 fast break. Instead of the guys filling the lane going to the hole for the bucket, they'll spot up for a 3-point shot. That doesn't make sense, but that's just the way they play. So if it's a habit that they're doing, it continues. But you're right. If you're up by 20, you need to be trying to pound that thing down low. And if Porzingis is not there, Horford can get you some points down on the inside, but they don't like to use him too much. The only time Horford gets a point, he might hit a three every now and then, but it's getting a rebound and putting him back up. But that's just the way these guys play today, and people think that's normal. But if you get a good team that start pounding that thing down low and kick out for 3-pointers once you start dominating down low, then they're going to be hard to beat. That's kind of like what Denver does, but Denver has gotten weakened since they won that championship a couple years ago. So it's going to be a change coming. Somebody's going to get some sense about them to take all those easy points instead of trying to shoot all these 3-pointers, man. That's what makes it hard to watch a lot of time. Now, I don't want to get started on either Rick's, but I appreciate you guys chiming in with me. Like I said, in the description, I put that link for Discord. And what I'm going to do at sometime today, I'm going to go to the community page and put it on there also. So if it's not visible on the description, then I'll put it in the community page. That way we can all get together and talk some football, man. That's Discord thing all day, every day. And like I said, if you guys coaching or anything involving football that you want to talk about, let's chop it up, man. But in the meantime, I got to get up out of here, man. They got some food for me. They're doing Teacher Appreciation Week this week, so I'm gonna go down here and see what they got for me. All right, nobody goes to the bucket on break. It kills my soul every time. Yeah, the old heads, it's hard for us to watch that crap, man. And the other thing that I can't stand is they allow these guys to take 4 or 5 steps and travel right in front of the official. They don't call anything. But if you make some kind of twitch, they might call traveling in. I mean, what's worse? I'd rather take the twitch than you letting some guy take 4 or 5 steps and lay it up. And that's just not the way I learned about basketball. So before I go, Dak for Arch Manning. I don't think Arch Manning is as good as what people say they are. He's going to have to show me something. But speaking of that, I told you guys I do ride share. And about 2 weeks ago, I picked up a dad who turned out to be one of the a dad for one of the players of the University of Texas, and he gave me some insight about what goes on there. And I don't want to name the guy, but we may be getting an opportunity to actually interview that guy. So that's what I'm working on right now. But yeah, he told me a lot of stuff that ranged from the high school NIL all the way up to what's going on behind the scenes at the University of Texas. And I thought that was a great, how long was it, about 15 minutes? That was a great, no, I took him to the airport, so it took about 20, 25 minutes. And from the time he got in, that was great. We talked football and went from there. But anyway, again, Pittsburgh trading Pickens, I don't think that was a great move. Most of you are saying the same thing. Nice to catch you this morning. Yeah, man, I'm trying to be on regular. I don't know how I'm going to do it over the summer when school is out, but I'm going to make sure I'm on every day. And with this Discord thing, I'll be even more available from there. So Ars wants to Ole for Dallas. We'll see. But anyway, I got to get up out of here, man. You guys appreciate this chiming in. Like, subscribe, and check out that Discord page for me. So next time, have a great day. This is Sports for Real. I got to go to work, so I'm out.